Before setting up a roadblock in Anniston, you better check with City Hall first.
Wind was certainly the word today across East Alabama. When will those winds diminish and die down? We'll have the answer coming up next in weather.
Coming up in sports, we'll visit with the Donoho Falcons baseball team as they prepare for their big quarterfinal matchup. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Good evening, and thank you for watching East Alabama Now Local News for Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
Anniston officials are reminding local charities and nonprofit groups that they must first get a permit before setting up a street barricade of any kind. Police don't recognize roadblocks unless they have been authorized by City Hall, and that paperwork has to be filed at least a month before the event. Only certified 501c3 organizations with offices located within the city of Anniston may use these roadblocks to ask for money. Anniston Police Chief Nick Bowles says the majority of people setting up roadblocks are familiar with the city's requirements.
The biggest thing is just keeping people aware of the rules that we have for roadblocks, and the rules are there for the safety of everyone involved, the motorists and the people there. So we've got about 6 different intersections that are designated within the city that they want to have roadblocks at, and they're for visibility. You know, it's good traffic flow so people can solicit there, but it's more for visibility and safety than anything else. So people can go and apply through City Hall for a roadblock application. That will come through my office. We'll approve those. There's some very light rules. You can't do it more than twice a year and things like that.
Bowles says most groups do a good job following those rules, but there is one area of concern that needs to be brought to the public's attention.
The biggest thing that we're seeing issues with is having children, people under 18 out there in the streets that are soliciting, and we get it. The football teams, the cheerleading squads, they want to be a part of this fundraising, but we can't have them in the streets. So what we would suggest to people is they keep the kids on the sidewalks. They want to wave at people, tell people thank you, hold signs, that's great, but let the adults be in the intersections actually navigating through the traffic, and they're able to kind of watch everything.
The city also issues permits for residents to block off parts of residential streets for parties and festivals.
Those are fairly rare that the city will allow those to happen, just for, you know, the sake of getting people through a neighborhood and blocking off, because we would have neighborhoods blocked off every day of the week. Somewhere would be blocked off. So those are pretty rare that we allow those to happen. It would have to be a pretty big circumstance that probably through the city manager's office and the council might have to approve something like that, because it's pretty rare. We want to be respectful of everyone else in the neighborhood's ability to get in and out of a neighborhood. Now, if it's someone on a dead-end street, you know, that they want to block their part of the dead-end street off and all the neighbors are in agreement, I mean, that's something that I would definitely, you know, be a fan of.
Forms and requirements for groups wanting to set up barricades and roadblocks are available on the city's website. When we come back, Anniston's community centers are making big plans for this summer.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
Starting May 30th, the day after Memorial Day, Anniston's 3 community centers will start offering their annual summer day camp programs. The summer camps will run through August the 4th from 7 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The camps at Carver, Hodges, and Wiggins community centers will be offering a wide variety of activities, including nature and science, arts and crafts, survival, music, field trips, dance, swimming lessons, gymnastics, tumbling, and more. Registration forms are now being taken at the centers, and they may be mailed into City Hall as well. Camp fees for Anniston residents are $55 per week for the first child and $50 for each additional child in the same family. Weekly fees for non-residents are $60 a week per child. The daily rate is $15 if space is available. There's a $25 one-time registration fee for all campers. Camperships are available at low-income families living within the city limits of Anniston whose children attend Anniston City schools. Proof of school enrollment must be provided. Well, Katie, so far the merry month of May has been the chilly month of May.
It has been, and I am a pretty cold-natured kind of gal, so I'm looking forward to some warmer temperatures.
I am too. Let's turn to one of the coolest guys we know, John Holder. He'll be along in just a moment to tell us how much longer these cooler temperatures will last.
Mike and Katie, those cool temperatures are going to be around for about another 36 to 40 hours or so. Then warmer weather is ahead. We'll have the complete forecast details next.
Well, my name's Mike Craven, and we recently purchased an open carport, metal carport from a Waldrop manufacturer. I have an extra car. We have a very small home, very small driveway, and I needed somewhere just to park another vehicle, just out of the weather. And I had been told by 2 or 3 friends that knew we had recently remodeled a home that Waldrops were the people that you need to go talk to. I was in that area one day and I thought, hey, I'll just stop in, and I did without calling, and greeted warmly, well taken care of. It was just, really the whole process was just good from day one.
Earlier today, the National Weather Service office in Birmingham issued a wind advisory for this afternoon and early this evening across all of East Alabama, and it was well warranted. Despite temperatures in the 70s today, up at 73 degrees for the high, it felt a lot cooler than that because we had winds 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35 out there this afternoon. Temperatures still below normal for this time of year. We had a cold morning this morning, 42 for the low. That was very close to our record low temperature for the day, 36, which was set all the way back in 1903. You see the sunrise sunset times, and our record high, nowhere in danger of that yet. Let's take a look now at weather on your street. Weather on your street tonight, we're talking about Dalewood Drive in Jacksonville. Over in Dalewood Estates, the winds diminishing. That will be a good thing, but it's going to be chilly again tonight. Under clear skies, we drop down to 44 for the low on Tuesday night on Dalewood Drive in Jacksonville. Your Wednesday, Collins Road out in Ohatchee. Beautiful street out there, right below the mountains out in Ohatchee. And you're going to see cooler temperatures remaining in place. As a matter of fact, temperatures tomorrow are going to be a little bit cooler than today. Only 70 for the high tomorrow out on Collins Road in Ohatchee. As we move through the rest of the week, take you out to Liberty Lane and White Plains. Beautiful area out at Mountain View. That is a great place to see stars, to do anything outdoors. The folks that live out there, they love that area, and they're really going to love it at the end of the week because we're going to see temperatures transitioning from the 70s to the 80s. We're going to see nighttime lows going from the 40s to the 50s. The warming trend begins in earnest. Plenty of sunshine as we move through the end of the week and into the weekend. 7-day forecast. I think you're going to like this if you like warm weather. Temperatures rising significantly every day. We go from 70 on Wednesday to 76 on Thursday. Another mostly dry day as we reach into the upper 70s on Friday. The weekend, a chance of a shower. No big deal with that. Average chance of rain about 1 in 4 on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. Look at these high temperatures. By Sunday and Monday, we are back into the mid 80s. That's about a month ahead of schedule. That's typically where we would be in early June in East Alabama. And look at those nighttime lows as well. We had 42 this morning, some low 40s coming up for the next couple of mornings, but then we're in the low 60s again by Sunday of the weekend and the early part of next week. Again, we're going into a pretty typical summertime weather pattern by the early part of next week, where we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with the heating of the day across East Alabama. All in all, not a bad forecast for the first week in May. The Donoho Falcons are moving on to the quarterfinal round of the Class 2A baseball playoffs. Chase Robinson has all the details about the Falcons coming up right now in sports. Chase?
Thanks, John. Welcome into EAN Local Sports. I'm Chase Robinson. This week, we enter into the quarterfinal round of the AHSAA baseball playoffs. Several East Alabama teams still alive and looking to make some noise. I had a chance to catch up with the Donoho Falcons as they prepare to take on Lindsay Lane Wednesday in the Class 2A quarterfinals of the playoffs. This is familiar territory for the Falcons, making deep playoff runs. But what is different this year is the move from Class 1A to 2A because of competitive balance in the Athletic Association. But Coach Steve Gendron says it's been a good move for the Falcons.
It's been a challenge, the 2A, because when you think about local 2A teams, there aren't very many. We had to travel all over the place. In some instances, an hour away, which is fine, and the boys liked it. But just being in new places and learning new teams was definitely a challenge. But it's been a fun ride so far.
Lindsay Lane is also a familiar opponent for the Falcons. In 21, Donoho beat Lindsay Lane on the Falcons' way to the state championship series. And last season, Lindsay Lane beat Donoho in the 1A semifinals. So this series is much anticipated for the Falcons.
We beat Lindsay Lane 2 years ago in the 1A state playoffs, and then they beat us last year. So this is kind of the deciding series of my time since I'm a senior going out, and I really want to win this round.
We faced their lefty Ray Anderson in 21, and we faced him last year, and then we'll face him this year. But I think our team has done a lot of research on him. We've got what he can do, what he can't do, and I think we're going to do pretty good against him. And just a little revenge tour for we're both even 1-1, so let's see who can get the win.
Yeah. You don't make it to the third round by just luck. They're a good team. We respect them. I think they respect us, and it's going to be a good matchup.
As far as the team goes for Donoho this season, Coach Steve Gendron describes this team as resilient and has really liked what he's seen from this team, especially offensively.
We're resilient. I always feel like no matter what the situation is in the game, offensively, we're going to have a chance. Our pitching has been very good, and anytime you can hit and pitch, you're going to have success, and I think that's why we're still playing. We've got about 6 or 7 guys that are really having phenomenal years, and some of the other guys are grinding at the bottom half of the lineup, but they're doing things right now in the postseason that they haven't done all year, and that's helped us win 2 big ball games last week. So the top half of the lineup's going to do what they do, and anytime that they're up, I feel like we got an opportunity to do something good.
The White Plains boys soccer team will advance to the second round of the Class 4A playoffs. They've made the playoffs the last 3 seasons, but this year they have a chance to move on after a shutout win over Cherokee County. As we take a look at the score there, 2-0 shutout for White Plains over the Warriors. That's it for sports. Let's go back over to Mike and Katie.
Thanks for watching East Alabama Now local news. For a more traditional way of watching our newscast, tune in to our East Alabama Now YouTube page.
And we're going to still have our stories on Facebook as we have been doing. They'll be segmented so you can watch the stories that interest you the most and also share them with your friends. And speaking of sharing, we want to hear from you.
Absolutely. If you're on Facebook and there is something important to you, it's important to us. Send us a message on Facebook Messenger. Let us know what's going on in your community. We would love to cover it. Join us tomorrow night for your news on your schedule.